Hello everyone, welcome back to Satisfactory. We got a beautiful sunrise over the peaks of the mountains again. I am Arctic Wolf and this is episode 11. We're standing here. I got an observation tower up above our main factory here, looking down over the humongous steel assembly setup that we put in last episode. And I've been a little bit busy, as you can see probably here. What I went and did is at each one of these miners here, all the way around, all the original, what is that, 7? Yeah, thank you, autosave. The original 7 that we put in, I turned them all into Mark IIs and put a Mark III belt to a splitter and then split off another 120 off of each one and routed all that raw resources down around over this way over to there. I'm going to run down there and I'll pick up with you when I get down there. Okay, here we are at the other end of those conveyor belts. As you can see, we got all the raw resources coming into right here. Them 2 on that wall are copper. These 5 on this line are iron. And we're going to route that all over this way for future use. We're not going to end up needing the copper for this build, and we're not going to need all of that iron for this build, but it's nice to have it here so when we do expansion off in this direction, we got the resources right there we need. We're making extra stators for our automated wiring assembly, so I belted that down and around and through the walls of the main factory here. You can't even see it until it comes out just above where that tractor's at right now. And it comes down this way on this belt here and out into here. We're going to need the stators for the motors, and that's the only part of the motors that uses copper. So we don't need the copper ore from that side. We're going to bring some of that iron ore in here. We're going to make rods and screws and turn them into rotors and mix it with the stators and get motors coming out. That's next. I will come back when I got that completed. Okay, here we are. If you look right back there, that is our modular frames assembly right there. All of this out in front here is new. I've incorporated the ramps with the support pillars, the blue wall, metal wall foundation look, and right there is the entrance to the new motor factory. There's room for expansion vertically off the top of that thing. I got walk paths out to all the different ways I want to go down here. I'm going to run up inside there and give you guys a grand tour. See you in a second. Isn't this majestic? Big, huge, open archways. And yeah, this is busy. I have to say that I am a fan of overhead conveyor belting and these lifts. It makes it a lot easier to get around in here and see exactly what everything's doing. Alright, so what's going on here? I only tapped into one of these iron lines. I brought the other one in because we're going to need it. And I'll explain that in a minute. For right now, we got the 4 smelters smelting 120 iron. This is normal, same thing we did from the other side. So that brings the 120 ingots out to this splitter right here. And it splits at 60 and 60. So then this one splits it again, and the other 60 gets put up on that belt right there and goes off that way to the screw constructors. These two are making iron rods with the vanilla iron recipe. Iron rod recipe at 15 each. It's not enough. We need at least double that, maybe even triple that, which is why we got that other iron right there. We'll get to that in a minute. I need, this machine makes 4 rotors per minute. The plan here is to overclock this thing to 250%. I've got all the support and all the resources and everything tied here that I need to do that. And you overclock this thing so it's making 10 rotors a minute, because this requires 10 rotors a minute. Right now we're only getting 4 rotors per minute and about 3 stators per minute, so I need to increase the stator production over there on the other side to bring it in on that line right there. That just comes across, comes in from the window over there up to the ceiling and then across. It goes just underneath this one here, which is delivering ore to that side of the smelters. Iron rod's coming in this way, going into that machine up there. Should be starting to work. Should be starting to get them out. Yep, there they are. We got 2 constructors over here building our alternate casted screws recipe. 12.5 is so close to 15 that I brought that other 60 line over here. And that's getting split behind the machines back here. 30 and 30. We're going to put 2 more of these in. Oh, autosave. Over on this side. And they're all going to feed into that 120 belt. It's going to have to become a Mark III belt, so it can carry 240, or the 200. We're going to need 250 screws per minute. So that means I need 5 of these constructors running at full tilt. So we got 2 in right now. We'll have 1 in the back facing this way, and 2 down here facing this way. They're all going to feed into it'll be fed into a double merger into a Mark III belt. And that'll be enough to overclock that thing 250%. With the rods, there's going to have to make another one of these arrays over in that corner over there, and then merge them into this line somewhere along here, and then that'll make this thing to get, because it needs 50 per minute. So, but that'll be later. Right now I just wanted to get the motors going, so we're just feeding it with the 4 a minute and the 3 a minute that we have, and we're getting about 1 motor per minute, maybe 2, and then go out and up and over and down and into that storage bin right there. Hey, we already got 15. Alright, so we need 50 to unlock oil processing, and then the oil miners and the oil refineries require the motors to build them. So I'm gonna have to let this run. I'm gonna go see if I can find some power slugs. If anything interesting happens, I'll be sure to catch that on video. But for the most part, I'm gonna run over to the hub, get the 3 power slugs I have in there from the Dogos when I had those guys. Got to thinking about that. The rock over on the other side of the base that we're gonna encase in glass, I'll have a hyper tube wall mount where I can come in and go out and the doggos can't follow me, and then that'll be our doggo sanctuary too, and I'll lead them in there and then box them in and use the hyper tube to get out, and then hopefully they all just stay in there. But that's it for now. I'm gonna go get the power slugs out of the hub here, craft them into power shards, get that machine overclocked, get them other constructors in, and I'll see you guys in a minute. Okay, I'm back. It's been about 2 hours of solid grind since the last cut. I got everything set up to overclock that rotor's machine down there, but first I wanted to run through how it all works and what it all is doing. As you can see, I am a big fan of overhead belting. I love that you can walk underneath this stuff. It doesn't get in the way. It's great. Still need to get up on top of the splitters and mergers every now and then, but hey. So what we got, we had the exact right amount of iron coming in for this whole setup off of that 120 line. So we got the 120 coming in. It's getting split to 4 different smelters. It's actually getting split right there, and half of it comes in over on that side and half of it comes in over on that side. And the 120 ingots come out right here. Alright, and then we're doing some line balancing to make sure things get to the right places throughout the factory setup here. So the 120 comes out, we got 60 shoots off to the right, and then 60 goes straight to the next one. This splitter is splitting 30 of it into that merger, merging it with that other 60 line, so we got a 90 line coming out and going up and going over that way. This 30 here comes out and feeds these 2 constructors that are making the iron rods. That recipe takes 15 ingots a minute, and it gives us 15 rods a minute. So we're going to merge them back together and stuff it into that machine. Now that's only 30 a minute coming out from these 2, but follow this ingots line, and it goes over. Now what we're doing here is we're splitting it. So it's got 90 on it, so we're splitting it 30, 30, and 30, and then this 30 and this 30 are merging back together onto a 60 line that goes off that way. And then over here we're taking this 30 and we're lifting it up and bringing it back out and around and sending it down over to them constructors back here. It gets to this wall, comes down, goes around the corner into the back, goes back, splits into the 2 constructors, 15 each, 15 rods each come out, merge into a 30. This 30 line goes up, over, down, and merges in front of that, in with that one. So that 30 and that 30 makes a full 60 belt to slam into that assembler right here. And it only needs 50 to work at 250%. So that is fantastic. Up next, the other 60 ingots coming out of here. Remember how these casted screws, they take 12 and a half and they make 50? Well, let's check this out. What happens if I need 250? I get 5 constructors. So let's check what 12 and a half times 5 is. 62 and a half. Wow, that is like extremely close to 60. Like so close to 60 that each one of these things is running at 98% efficiency and giving me 245 screws per minute total, which is just under what that thing needs. But it ends up working out to be enough. It just does. It just does. So we got our 60 screws or ingots a minute coming in, and then there's a splitter that comes over down and then down, and then a splitter and a splitter. Just do an overflow method here, so the very last one will be the one that doesn't run at 100%. It runs at like 95% depending on how much resources it gets. And coming out of here, I believe that needs to be, if it's not already, Mark III belt. It is. Okay, so that's going out as fast as it can. Is that working? That one doesn't look like it's doing anything. Oh, helps if you... There we go. Anyway, so this is making our 250 screws a minute, shoving them up this elevator, send them down over this way. They're on the top of these two, and they come around into this elevator, come down, and as you can see, they're getting shoved into the machine as fast as they can come in because it needs 100 a minute. And so now we've already got it stocked up. So what happens if we do this? Oh, I need to add these. Let's double it. Give us 8 rotors per minute. Until I get the stators set up, we don't really need to overclock it too much yet. So we'll actually overclock it to 150. That'll give us, what, 6? Yeah. We'll do that for now. Up next, we need to go up to... Well, first let's check this. Oh, yeah, like 531, 520. Yeah, we're getting close to our 600 megawatt limit. The problem is, even if you're not using 600 megawatts all the time, if you go to 600.1 megawatts of power drawn out of there, it'll kill the whole system. It trips the breaker and everything shuts down. And then every single piece of machinery you have draws power when you try to kick it back on. So if you don't have enough to cover everything, it won't turn back on. That we are going to experience very soon. In fact, if I overclock that machine, that kills the power grid. Can't do that right now. So, up next, that's going to be it for today. We got our motors manufacturing pretty much done. We got to do a little bit of more steel, which is coal, which is going up there. So, that'll be next episode. Call it here for today. Hit the thumbs up button if you like the video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification to know when my videos come out. And with that, Wolf out.